You know, you can't have a summer movie season without family. Let's talk about it. What's up, everyone? Welcome to a Movie Emporium movie review of the new Fast and Furious movie, Fast X. This film is directed by Louis Leterrier. Okay, everyone, we're here. We're here to talk another Fast and Furious movie, whether it be the beginning of a trilogy or the beginning of a duology. Who knows at this point? They may make like 20 more films before the series concludes. But this movie is the 10th film in this franchise. It now sees Dom and the crew doing what they usually do. Some of them are going to go off on a heist. Some of them are going to stay home. Dom has a kid. Letty's taking care of the kid. It's the beginnings of the end for Fast and Furious. You see a bunch of pictures, blah, 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 blah. Well, this movie is hinged on the 5th movie, which is, of course, considered the best of the franchise, and sees a character played by Jason Momoa, who plays Dante. He's in essence a terrorist. He's this is a spoiler, a slight spoiler. He's the son of the main bad guy in the 5th film, and because he's on a revenge quest, he's going to take down Dom's family piece by piece, whether that be the people that has come along the way or his actual family, so on and so forth. So in essence, this is about Dom trying to stop Jason Momoa's character, who seems to be 10 steps ahead. The character Dante basically causing all kinds of problems, and it's leading to the first part of whatever will be the end of this series as a franchise, which is weird because we had this franchise for 20 plus years now. So it is what it is. It's Fast and Furious. It's Fast X. It's a movie that was supposed to be directed by Justin Lin, is now directed by Louis Leterrier, and as you go in expecting, you kind of are getting what you expected when it comes to this franchise. It's a movie about a bad guy trying to take down the Toretto family, but as we know, you can't stop family. So it's pretty safe to say at this point that this franchise is a thing. It's hard to explain what this thing is anymore, because what started out as a racer, bad guys trying to steal trucks, has turned into a spy superhero franchise. As we've seen in the last few films, especially the last film, with how much they punch and fight and jump cliffs. It's just you go into these films knowing that they're not going to be very good. They're going to be pretty bad, actually, but you know that they're going to be over the top and silly. And I think that's the whole point of these films, is if you go in taking them seriously and you go in trying to expect realism, you're not getting that anymore. I mean, it's just something unfortunate you have to go in expecting. But I mean, the last film, Fast 9 or F9 or whatever you want to call it, was really, really bad, to be fairly honest. It was bad for even Fast and the Furious franchise sake. So with Justin Lin leaving the franchise over disputes with The Rock and, of course, and Vin Diesel having problems, this franchise feels like it's on its last mile, or it's on empty when it comes to its franchise. It's like, thank God they're ending it, because they're getting to a point where it's getting old and stale with even what they're doing now. So it's just the unfortunate nature of a franchise. It loses its rudder, and if it doesn't have an anchor point, it'll never succeed. It'll never return to its original form. But these movies make a lot of money. It's Universal's flagship property at this point. And question remains, do you even care, or are you going to see this, or is it even worth watching? Well, once again, it's a Fast and Furious movie at this point. If you like the last one, you'll like this one. The true saving grace of this movie is Jason Momoa, who is doing a Joker-esque style bad guy character. And if you remember Heath Ledger's Joker, or even Todd Phillips or Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, there is a sense that Jason Momoa knows what type of property he's working with, what franchise he's in. He is over the top, crazy. He is silly. He's bonkers. He's always 10 steps ahead. He's always good at what he does. He always seems to know everything and everywhere. He seems to be at the right moment. He's that type of villain where he can literally be, if you ever seen Shoot 'Em Up with Paul Giamatti and Clive Owen, the bad guy always seems to be in the right place at the right time. And that's exactly what's happening here. I love what Jason Momoa is doing in here, even though it's really over the top and campy. At least he knows and tries not to be so self-serious in this franchise, because this franchise has gotten to a point where it is super self-serious with the different plot threads, the different running gags, everything that's happening. The levity has always been through Ludacris and, of course, Tyrese Gibson. And here, thank God, Jason Momoa he took that villain, he knocked it up to 11, so it does work. It's just everything else fails in comparison. It's not, once again, doing things that are so over the top and silly. Yes, it tries to bring it a little bit down to earth with some of the races that happen in the movie. But it literally essentially is a spy superhero thriller at this point. People are punching. Nobody's really getting hurt. Sometimes they'll get shot, but sometimes, most of the time there's a way to save them. A lot of the new actors that are brought in, like Brie Larson and so on and so forth, the guy who played Jack Reacher, they don't add anything to this franchise at all. They just are there because they're big name actors and stuff like that. Some of the characters, that you've come to grow and love and stuff like that are there, but they don't add anything to the movie. This is about Dom and trying to, secure and save his family or protect his family. And even Vin Diesel just looks like he is struggling to keep this franchise afloat or on the road. And it's so heartbreaking to watch, because you want to root for a franchise like this because they care. Vin Diesel cares. All these people care. But it's the same jokes over and over and over. And then when people come back like, Jason Statham or like Helen Mirren or something like that, and they just aren't given anything to do, and then they have all these plot running points that's trying to be like a big end to the series, and all it is just like you see pictures on the walls from the different points in this franchise, or you have Vin Diesel staring gruffly into the camera, or you have Letty just like beat down and stuff like that, and then you have what used to be bad guys now good guys like John Cena and Jason Statham. There's just a disconnect with what this franchise is doing. And then on top of that, it once again introduces set pieces that make no sense. They are very, unrealistic in a lot of respects. There's one sequence at the end that is so unrealistic and so stupid and so just kind of mind-numbing. You're kind of questioning what this franchise is anymore. It's just, I don't know. It's hard to really just want to like crap on this movie because it's not a good movie. It's pretty terrible. It's not as bad as 9. That's thanks to Jason Momoa. But yeah, I mean, there's not really much else to talk about. I mean, it's a Fast and Furious movie, to be fairly honest. You're going to go in, you're going to expect bombastic stupidity, and that's exactly what you're going to get. And that is kind of sad, to be fairly honest. It just makes me realize I'm going to have to watch 2 more of these movies to review, and I'm not going to feel anything for it. The second movie is not going to make me feel anything for it. The third movie, if there is a third movie or however they end this franchise, you might get a little emotional because you've been following this franchise forever. But unlike something like, Lord of the Rings or Star Wars to an extent when it comes to the original trilogy, sometimes going too much and going too hard and focusing on too much nonsense will like ruin your franchise. And at this point, you're either on board, you're either watching these movies, or you're not. It's just how it is. And once again, it's just not a very good movie. It's not gonna be like 9, where I considered putting my like worst of the year list, but it would be pretty close to be like an honorable mention, because it just doesn't add anything to logic and reasoning or filmmaking. I know Louis Leterrier does a good job in like his camera work, and he was really excited to do this, but clearly they just needed a director, and he was the one available, and there's not much more to put it because of that. So yeah, it's pretty depressing to watch a series just be terrible and bad. But once again, that is the Fast and Furious movies at this point. So yeah, Fast and Furious, Fast X, Fast and Furious, buckle your seatbelt, whatever you want to call it. That is a movie. It is now in theaters, or will be in theaters very soon as this review. So anyways, with that said, thank you so much for watching. Comments below. What do you think of the Fast and Furious movies? Do you have a particular favorite? Let's be positive. Yeah, I know we could crap on these movies, and I try to be a little bit positive, with Jason Momoa. But anyways, in the comments, let me know what you think. With that said, that'll do it. Thank you so much. If you like what you see on the channel, hit the subscribe button to join Movie Emporium. Hit that notification bell. Top the fun is coming next. If you like this video, awesome. Hit that like button, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.